Okay, so now we're going to install the SE214XT CPU cooler onto our AM4 platform. So this is a X570 Tough Gaming from ASUS, and also there is a Ryzen 9 3900 in here for testing purposes. The rest of it, RAM, etc., is not really relevant to this, but we will be going through doing testing a little bit later on. But first of all, let's get this cooler installed. So in order to prep this, we're going to first of all need to remove the standard two retaining brackets that come included with AM4 motherboards. We'll keep those to one side for later on use or possibly for RMAs. So now what we're going to need to do is to put over the plastic spacers. And there are also 4 screws as well, so these are the silver screws. So plastic spacers over the top of each one of the mounting holes. Then on top of that we've got our bracket, AM4 bracket. So this just goes down on top like so, and then put the screws down through. And I would get them a few turns done on each side. Because this doesn't really lock in as such, you might want to get them get the threads started a little bit before you tighten them fully down. I personally don't like this design. I think if you're trying to do this with the PC being upright, which some people may have to, it's going to be quite a tricky process. So I'm going to do that one up now and do them kind of opposing corners, making sure it's fully tightened. Give it a wiggle, make sure that it's not going to move. So now you can install or apply some thermal paste. Normally at this point we would use the manufacturer's own paste, but for testing purposes I'm going to be using some MX4 and then going to spread it out across the processor. Now we can put the processor on top. So in order to do that, first of all, remove your bit of sticky tape, because that will not help thermal issues, and make sure you take notice of the swoop of the pipes. So you'll be wanting it so that the fan is this way round, so the pipes are swooping backwards towards the back of the computer. And all you need to do is just gently put it over the top there, and you'll see the pins come through at the bottom. Next, you've got 2 screws with springs, so just plop those on the top. You can do a couple of turns by hand if you wish to, just to get it started. I'm going to do the same on the back as well. A couple of screws to get it started, and then we just turn it around, and then you can just do alternate sides just to give it even mounting pressure. So do about 4 turns, 5 turns, something along those lines. Doesn't have to be exact. And that's stopped that one now, so we can make sure, do a few more turns there, and there we go, that has locked into place. So that's it, we're good there. Now we need to install the fan. To install the fan, relatively straightforward to do, so make sure that your 2 cables are going to be coming out from the bottom, and grab one of your spring clips, and it goes into the bottom rather than the top or front. And they don't hold in very well. And then line up your fan, and then all you need to do is just stretch the clip behind, and it locks into place there. You can, if you want to, then sort of straighten up a bit, make sure that it's fully adjusted. And then we're going to switch around to the other side, and whilst holding the fan in place, because otherwise it's going to have a tendency to try and pull away. So hook in your bracket or clip, and then just push it so that both of these bars are lined up. And that is pretty much it for the installation. It's relatively straightforward as long as you've got a nice open area to do it in. The last thing you'd want to do is to hook up your two connections. So that's going to be your PWM and your addressable RGB. On this particular board, the addressable RGB is here at the top. So that's going to be nice and easy. So literally just a standard 3-pin 5-volt connection. So just going to pop that on there. That's very easy to do. Obviously you can cable manage it out the way however you see fit. And the last one is going to be the fan, and that goes into the fan header up here. There's two to choose from. So I was going to go for this one here. That can be managed out the way should it be necessary in your particular case. But that is effectively it. Make sure that the fan blades spin and isn't being obstructed by anything. You can, if you want to, give a little wiggle and just make sure that it is all perfectly lined up. As you can possibly just about see here, mine is slightly out of alignment there, so it's a little bit lower on this side than this side. So if you do want to adjust it, all you need to do, just unclip it a little bit and just move it around slightly, put the clip back in, and I think that is much better. So I'm going to get on now and do some testing on this, see what the temperatures are like. If you're watching the full review, then you'll see that next. If you're just watching the installation, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.